Hi guys, Kaychak here, and I'm looking for a new challenge after finally completing my goal of hitting 1 billion raw gold in World of Warcraft retail. Now, as I said in that video, I will continue to push to make billions more gold in retail, but I'm also looking for a brand new challenge to see what I can achieve elsewhere in the game. It really did not take much thought for me to decide what I wanted to do for this new challenge. As soon as Blizzard announced official hardcore servers, I was sold. For context, I love hardcore. I have much more playtime on Diablo games on hardcore than softcore. This is simply because there is very little you can do in gaming to replicate the panic and cold sweats you start to feel as your health bar drops lower and lower and you have dozens or even hundreds of hours invested into your character. That's assuming, of course, you get to see your health bar go down at all and your level 55 rogue doesn't get one shot by a stupid exploding mob. Different people enjoy games differently, and regular softcore for me just seems to be a race to get the highest possible DPS, and it is usually won by those that have the most time to play. Hardcore is a completely different beast. If you used exactly the same strategies, you will see yourself starting from scratch more often than not. My plan is to do gold making in WoW Classic Hardcore and see what I can achieve. I think this is going to be a unique gold making experience for a few reasons. Firstly, you are going to die. If the stats gathered from over 80,000 deaths in the hardcore add-on are anything to go by, then you're going to be dying a lot. It seems you have around an average of a 0.2% chance of reaching level 60, that's about 1 in 500 characters. That is actually completely insane in itself. You don't even need to think about gold making in this challenge for you to have huge golds to reach for, because being one of those 1 in 500 that makes it to level 60 is one of the biggest achievements a solo player can achieve in this game. Now, this is probably going to be slightly easier in Classic Hardcore, as you are going to be off to trade, etc. So you probably will have slightly higher numbers than 0.2%, but still. I mean, do you think the world first level 60 hardcore will be a frost mage AoEing massive packs down solo this time? You add a gold making perspective to all of this and it makes for a very different experience than we see in retail or on Wrath. Interestingly, from an economic point of view, this could be the closest we get to the release of original vanilla WoW. When the game was re-released in 2019, everyone knew literally everything about the game and shot to max level, cleared Molten Core, all in no time. This time the leveling process is going to be so much slower for the vast majority of players because they will be so much more careful, but mostly because they will be dying and restarting from level 1. In the sense that the majority of the player base will be stuck in the leveling process, this is going to represent early classic WoW much more than the 2019 relaunch. With so much more of the player base stuck in the leveling part of the game, the economy should be much more interesting this time around. With the increased emphasis on survival, we will likely see much higher demand for things that the majority of the player base has probably never used before. Most obviously, elixirs that increase your armour and life will be sought after, so that herbs that go into them will be in demand for the majority of the life of Hardcore Classic. Those that provide extra DPS, of course, will likely be even more in demand. The faster you kill something, the less chance it has to kill you. But even utility potions that increase stealth detection, swim speed, or give you water breathing could all save your life in a certain situation and may well be worth carrying. The point is here that when your priority goes to survival at all costs, the things that you need from the auction house change quite a lot, and when you repeat this process across every player and all the professions, not just like alchemy like we have done, the economy should be really interesting. Not only should the economy and gold making be more interesting, but there will be more decisions to make when it comes to things like farming as well. So you made it to level 60. Are you going to run a mining route in Eastern Plaguelands that gives you loads of gold, or will you settle for running a mithril or iron route which is a lot less gold, but then you have almost no chance of dying? With skinning, do you want to go solo farming Devil Soul Leather because those things can really hurt when you're undergeared, or do you do it in a group to half the amount of gold you get, or do you go and solo something else? You need to be constantly balancing risk versus reward, and to me that just makes the whole thing a lot more fun. Gold in Classic Hardcore is going to be insanely valuable, and if you build it, they will come. Bots are definitely going to be coming to Hardcore Classic, but what form that will take, nobody knows yet. I doubt we will see bots running level 60 farms simply because a bot cares less about time investment and more about keeping running for the long term. All that being said, this may finally be the time that we, as players, finally get some revenge on the bots. We've all found various ways to kill bots before, but I can't wait to see compilation videos that people put out of the interesting ways they have come to kill them in Classic Hardcore. Sure, Blizzard have a griefing appeal system running, but will that actually make any difference to bots? Firstly, the person running the bot will probably never know how they died. They will likely not be watching it and will probably just come back to a dead character. But secondly, and more importantly, the last thing a bot wants is Blizzard looking too closely at their accounts. Sure, there's a chance to get the griefer may get in trouble, but there's also a chance that all the other bots on your IP get banned too. So that's a pretty big risk for someone that's running several bots at once. Even if we permanently kill bots, all that will do is make the price of gold even more expensive so that they will keep trying, but at least it feels like you can actually do something about them this time for the first time in WoW's history. What I could do with then is ideas on the best way to kill bots in Classic Hardcore. This may even become the content I go with, so leave that in the comment section below. Overall then, I'm really looking forward to Classic Hardcore. I'll probably mostly be aiming to do some gold making, with the ultimate goal of being one of the very few that make it to level 60. It is also really tempting to roll a fresh account and use it just to grief bots all day, and if it gets banned then I simply don't care. What do you guys think, and will you be giving Hardcore a go? Thanks for watching and see you next time.